Welcome to Murder and Everything Else. My name is Joy.
And my name is Cheryl. Joy and I are two very old friends who love to talk about murder and everything else.
Cheryl, you're going to love this story, and I didn't tell it to you intentionally because I wanted to tell it to you.
You want to get my true and honest reaction.
On the podcast. But so listen, yesterday I stopped to get gas when I was running errands in the morning. And you know, I always do like dry cleaning, car wash, gas, go to the grocery store, go to the bank, go take the trash. So I was doing like 800 things. So the last thing was I went to go get gas because it's right, you know, as I'm coming down the road, it's like all those things are things that I'm doing and then gas is last. So I'm at the pump and I'm putting gas in and there was a problem with my card. So it was delayed and I turned around.
Smoking from all the overuse.
Yeah, I turned around and looked and there was a man standing behind me with a fancy black Lexus. It was shiny. And he had white hair. He had like a vest on and he looked like he was probably like my father-in-law's age. So like late 70s, mid to late 70s. And so I finished pumping my gas and I put the gas nozzle, that's what's called, nozzle
back in the hole
thingy. I put it back on the gas pump and the man, and I'm going to turn and walk around my car and he goes, "Are you headed south?" And I go, "What?" I looked at him and I go, "South?" And he said, "That direction." And I'm telling this story to my husband, by the way, yesterday. And he goes, "I can't believe you don't know where south is after all these years." I'm like, listen, I have a really keen sense of direction, but I'm not a human compass. I don't know northwest, south, or east, or, you know, whatever. I just know where my house is and everything in relationship to my house. Like it took us a really long time to always refer to the ocean being to the east of us because I lived on the West Coast for so long. And the ocean was always to the west. And the sun always sets over the ocean. So, you know, those are understandable, like, you know, foibles. Anyway, he goes, "Are you headed south?" And I said, "South?" And he goes, "That direction." I'm sure he was like, "You dummy." And I said, and I was, because I would have to leave to go that direction to turn, you know, to go to my house. But I just thought of you at that instant and I go, "No." And he goes, "I've locked myself out of my car." So I walk over to his car and I look in. It's like a sports car.
You know, this is how Ted Bundy got a lot of his victims.
Shut up.
Yes.
So I walk over to his car and it's like super clean. It's like it's been spit shine. Like it's so shiny. And then
he had it detailed after his last murder.
Yeah. And then it's like a 2-seater because it's like a late, you know, like early mid like beginning 2000 sports car. So it's like that sleek style. It's slow to the ground. It's a Lexus. It's black. And it's like it just had 2 seats and I peer in and sure enough, his keys are dangling and he goes, "This car was made in like 2008 or something." And he goes, "It doesn't have a fob, an unlock fob." And I said, because I said, "Can't you just put your hand on the handle, the door handle, and it'll like unlock it?" And he goes, "No, this car was made in like 2008. And it was chilly and it was windy. And, you know, it's only been chilly for 2 days, you know, because it was like 85 degrees before that. So, you know, we're standing outside and I don't have a coat on because I was just running to get gas.
Folks, it was probably 70 degrees yesterday. She's acting like it was 40.
It's chilly. I also have on my sandals, my summer sandals I wear in the house, and my toes are freezing.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm literally thinking about you.
You should.
And he says to me, he goes, "I guess I could just have to call my wife and ask her to swing by with the spare key."
Yeah, that's what you do.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, depending on how far it is, I guess I'd give him a ride home. But then he'd have to go in to the gas station, explain I've locked myself out of the car.
Have I not taught you anything?
So then I say, "Well, do you need to call a locksmith or do you need to use my phone to call a locksmith?" And he says, "No, I've got my phone in my pocket." He goes, "It's just," he said, What?
Red flag. Red flag. Why? He has a phone.
Well, he's got his cell phone in his pocket, but of course he's like, he's locked himself out, which is I've locked myself out of my car before back in the day. Have you never locked yourself out of your car?
I hate to brag, but I have never.
Oh, well, also, he was like in his mid to late 70s.
Joy, he has a phone.
He was well, groomed. He's got this nice, clean, sports car. And I felt bad for him because
I'm tearing my hair
it
out,
was an honest mistake.
One, Ted Bundy was clean cut. He would have girls. He'd pretend he had he had a fake cast on his arm, and he'd go, "Can you help me carry these books to my
Was that
VW?"
Ted Bundy?
Yes, I thought
Ted Bundy was the guy who smells like chocolate. Who was that?
Who the hell?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
He smelled like... he was from a chocolate factory.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
you remember that from our episode.
Know.
Anyway, that's how Ted Bundy got people in
me.
there.
I literally stopped myself and I said, sorry about that. I said, I'm headed in the opposite direction. And then to even make it believable, I came home the long way so that he wouldn't see me lie to him and then drive down the road that I just told him that I wasn't going to be going down because of you.
Women should not be afraid to just say no and not have to lie and hide it and all that jazz.
Well, you know what? I've used to pick up hitchhikers on the regular.
I know. And we have talked about
this. And this guy wasn't even a hitchhiker. He was like a poor old guy who got locked out of, and I remember thinking I could take him with one arm. I would be the one doing the driving and driving him. So his hands are both free. I'm driving. And he didn't say, I just live across the road, you know?
No.
Because if he did live just across the road, he could have walked across the road, right?
I know we're not supposed to clap into the mic.
Well,
so I'm doing little claps for Joy that she...
I literally did not tell you this story because I wanted to mention that now you're fully embedded in my head and I can't even do nice things for people because of you.
There's a saying, no good deed goes unpunished. And I truly believe that when I slammed my head on your kitchen counter this morning, bending over to pick up your dog's hair.
How tall are you? 3'5"? How did you hit your head on the kitchen?
Bar? The bar one where your high chairs are. It's hot. Folks, she doesn't even care that I gave myself a concussion.
Cheryl, just in case you didn't understand that she's a little person. She's
anyway, I'm very proud of you.
4'8".
The guy got home. Trust me, he wasn't going to freeze.
Later that day, I drove by and his car was gone.
Because you saw him on the evening news.
No, yeah, it was like wealthy Lexus owning white man goes on a murdering rampage with his. He didn't even have his keys. Remember, with his cell phone as he clubs innocent middle-aged 50-something woman to death with a cell phone in a car. Crunch, crunch. You know how long it would take to kill someone that was a cell phone?
The man had a cell phone. He wasn't going to freeze outside. It's not like he was stuck climbing Mount Everest. He had a convenience store right there. He could go inside and wait for his wife. I'm so glad.
If you've ever wanted to do something nice for someone, do it before you listen to this podcast. Because as soon as you start listening, you'll never do anything nice for people again because everyone will be trying to axe murder you.
Well, what did Gabe say?
He said that you're living rent free in my head. I need to stop that. He's like, you've let her get to you.
So, did he think that you should have driven that man south?
Well, first of all, he was amazed I didn't know what south was.
He
couldn't get past that. He's like, you've been here for like 14 years and you don't know where south is. I was like, listen.
It's all the trees. You know what? I have no idea
what
direction. But everywhere else I've lived, I've always known where north, south, east, and west.
You know what? The saying, you can't see the forest for the trees. It's true. We're surrounded by trees. Everything's like bushed up around here.
I have no concept of what north and south, east and west is here, and I feel like I don't need to know.
If you want to be an arborist, you should come here because
for sure.
You could get a good job chopping down trees.
No lack of trees. Well, I'm so proud of you, my friend.
Well, that was my gas station my inability to be a helpful person at the gas station.
And you are still alive.
And I got in my car and I drove the other direction. And I congratulated myself on being a paranoid old weirdo.
Let me ask you something. Why?
I should have asked him, are you going to rape and kill me?
Yeah, because he's going to say no. Because he's going to say yes.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just call his wife? What was his excuse about he had a phone in his hand?
Well, he was going to, but I'm sure he looked me up and down and thought, oh, she looks respectable and nice, and she has a car, and she
might be going south.
And she might be going south, and she could drop me off, because maybe he lives, like, right off the road.
It sounds fishy to me, and I'm glad that you...
So you wouldn't have given him a ride?
Absolutely not.
But you could have had Callie, and then she would have and attacked him and, like, ripped his eyes out.
Callie can't see. Callie's a senior.
He would have ripped her eyes out.
Exactly. Wow.
Anyway,
what
guys.
What do you guys think?
What do you think? Should you do nice things for people or worry about getting axe murdered?
Let's not frame it like that.
I'm going to find like a clergy and say, listen, I host a Sometimes Murder podcast with a friend.
Every other week.
And we talk a lot about axe murderers and rapists and serial killers. Would you recommend helping a random stranger at a gas station?
Who had a cell phone and his wife down the road?
Well, maybe she couldn't. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure she got in the car.
He doesn't have to call his wife. He can call his young
Uber.
neighbor.
He could get an Uber home.
There you go. See, you answered you solved your own.
Or call a locksmith. We all have roadside service.
Phone.
But you know, when they come to unlock your door, they stick that thing down in there and it jacks up especially it was a very nice sports car.
Right. Well, if his wife was too old to drive or whatever, he could have gotten an Uber.
I'll tell you right now, his sports car was nicer than my car.
Well, anyway.
But anyway, to all the Ted Bundys out there,
you didn't get her.
No,
you didn't get her.
I'm not giving you rides home if it's south, north, east. Or,
only if it's west,
because that's where the sun sets. Anywho, rolling on to updates. Last week's episode or the week before, I talked about the shoes I bought on eBay, and I'm here to tell you that the second pair I bought passed authentication. Nice. And they were shipped to me, and they are pristine. They are brand new. They are the LeBrons, and my kid tried them on, and they fit her.
Oh, nice.
So, yay. Good ending to a great story about how eBay authenticates the items that they sell you so that you're not buying a bunch of counterfeit shit.
I have an update because last week I said that the monster series on Netflix that's featuring Ed Gein this time was good. Well, I'm here to say I only watched half an hour, and now I'm here to tell you I watched all 8 episodes. And if you haven't watched it and you're going to watch it, skip ahead a minute because there's going to be spoilers. First of all, Charlie Hunnam, I don't really know him. I guess he's from Sons of Anarchy.
And isn't he Scottish or something, or Irish? Or Welsh? Welsh.
Oh, well, that'll explain. He's supposed to have just a American accent, which is so funny to say accent, American accent. But he, number one, it's all over, like people are, having discussions about the choice he made to have this really high voice. And it's very off-putting to watch 8 series of this high voice.
But maybe it's because he has a strong accent.
No. If you listen to Ed Gein's tapes, he does not have a high voice. But Charlie Hunnam says that he found a secret tape of Ed Gein, and he is speaking really high.
Oh, maybe that's how he talked to his victims or something.
Well, Ed Gein had a thing about his mother that he really wanted to please his mother, but she treated him like crap. She was very abusive toward him. So it was a whole thing about maybe placating her and like trying, none of the tapes out there of Ed Gein sound like that. He just sounds like a normal person. So that choice, I felt like maybe if he could have used it sometimes, but not always. I kind of feel like Charlie Hunnam, because this was a very meaty role for him. You know, he's always been kind of the hunk, even though I haven't seen a lot of things that he's in. I think he always plays that hunk. He's very good looking.
Honk? Like honk honk?
Hunk. H-U-N-K.
Hunk.
Stop it. So I think he wanted to be like, this is a meaty role and I'm going to get a lot of accolades for it and I'm going to be method acting. And, because I don't think he was looked at as that serious an actor before this part. It is a very, it's a very meaty role. No pun intended. This is the guy a real life guy, Ed Gein, who like skinned people. He had furniture made out of skin. He had a belt made out of nipples.
Did he wear it out and about?
Well, he would wear, I think, in the house, the face. There was a real face and hair off of it. But anyway,
ew.
So I thought the high voice was off-putting, but there was one scene where he's supposed to be it's a very dramatic scene, and he was doing well. It was a scene where he was being interrogated. But he somehow slipped into an Irish accent. Oh. And I'm like trying to ignore it because, I really wanted... I think
he's Irish.
I really was trying to pull for him. I don't think he is. Can you look it up?
I'm going to find out.
Anyway, on Reddit, a lot of people they were really criticizing him. They were like, and he's speaking in an Irish accent all of a sudden. And so Charlie Hunnam, I am sorry, but it's not just him. It was also the direction of the entire thing. It was... Why do some of these shows feel like they have to have a musical somewhere in there?
I don't know if I ever told you this, but I watched a movie where Colin Firth plays a guy from Durham, North Carolina. Worst accent ever.
Oh, see,
he sounded like,
and you love him.
Yeah, I had to stop watching it. He plays like a tobacco owner from Durham, and he goes Durham, and then he sounds like an Englishman trying to, and Colin Firth's not like a kind of cowboy guy. He plays a really good period piece.
Yes.
He's like the King's Speech and, Mr. Darcy, and he's just, he even like in the, what was that? Bridget Jones's Diary movies. Like he plays a good stick up the ass kind of guy.
Was he in that? I thought it was you.
Yeah, remember he plays Mark Darcy in that.
I'm not a fan.
And I have to say that
you got to know your limits.
I'm not going to believe him as a cowboy.
Right.
I just am not. And his accent sounded like he had been in Texas for 2 weeks on holiday and was trying his hand at pretending he was from Texas. Like people sometimes go to other countries on vacation. They come home and they've got a fake accent.
Right. Like Madonna.
And,
so again, this spoiler alerts.
Oh, by the way, Charlie Hunnam was born in Newcastle upon Tyne. So he's
English.
Yeah, so he's English, but he's lived here a lot of years. So they say that his accent is kind of a blend between American accent and English accent. Although I've heard some English people who've been in the U.S. for years and they sound very English.
Right. Anyway, Ryan Murphy, someone on Reddit made a very good statement, and they said it turned into an American Horror Story episode, and it's true. It had the feel of American Horror Story. There's like a musical at the end. I said there were spoiler alerts. Yes, and they're very sympathetic to Ed Gein in this show, and I had a hard time with it because I'm like, remember, he killed people. He cut off their head. He skinned them. He used them for furniture. And I understand he has a mental illness. You have to have a mental illness to do this stuff.
Yes.
But they were very sympathetic to him. And I was kind of had a hard time with that.
Huh.
So all in all, I do not recommend it. It's that monster series on Netflix. They featured Jeffrey Dahmer, who was Evan Peters. Excellent series. Then it was Menendez Brothers. That one sucked because they took a lot of creative liberties with that one too, and I do not recommend this one either. So They're kind of doing the Shamalama Ding Dong thing where they start off great and then they just...
but M. Night Shyamalan had way more than 1 or 2 movies. He had like 4 or 5 real bangers, and then he had the stinkers.
He could never capture the
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
To me, more than the Sixth Sense, the ones I loved the most were The Village and Signs. Those were my favorite. The Village
was good.
But Unbreakable was really good, and so was Sixth Sense. And then The Lady in the Water was where it just kind of started going off the rails. It had potential, but then it just went.
That movie
went
Old.
crazy.
That's
I've not seen
that
it.
old. It's not good. But Servant is one of the best.
Cheryl has often spoken about The Servant. Anyway, we have to get to our shout outs because you just went into a 20-minute Charlie Hunnam sidebar.
Elena has unsubscribed months ago.
Also, guys, we're not going to do an update on Golden Bachelor this week because Cheryl and I only watched 1 episode since we last talked about it, but next week we'll talk a little bit about it because we'll have a couple episodes under our belt. And I gotta say,
boring.
This guy is, I think I dated this guy. He is boring. He puts me to sleep. You know who makes the show interesting is these broads. He is so boring, and he also looks like a really bad kisser. So anyway, also, I am highly skeptical of anyone who says, after 19 years, my marriage fell apart, 29 years, or however many years he was married to his wife, and then he's willing to throw it all on her. She went a different direction. I was like, really? Everybody who's been married for any longer than 20 minutes knows it takes 2 to tango. Regardless as to whether or not somebody went another direction, it takes 2 to tango. There's 2 people involved in that.
Maybe you made them go in another
there's
direction.
2 people in that relationship. You're not the only person in the marriage. And it's I have a real, you know what, I really like it when people say things like, obviously, I'm not without fault or I have my own issues, but, it didn't work out for these reasons. It's really, really, really sus when someone goes, she
woke up one day and
she fell out of love with me and went. It's really? You're not going to assume any responsibility at all. None? Yeah. He was a football player. Maybe he was on the road for 6 months out of the year. That's really hard on a marriage to not see your spouse. I don't see my husband for 3 minutes and I'm I call him at work
sweet.
And I'm when I went to California this last summer, I was gone for 11 days. It's the longest I've ever been away from him. I really missed him. That's a long time to be away from somebody that you see every day.
Not a lot of married people feel like that. That's very sweet. Congratulations.
Really? Oh.
Not a lot. Not every married couple feels like that.
I know. You're right. All right. Anyway, rolling on to shout outs. I want to shout out my friend Eva, who lives in Switzerland and who I recently was messaging on Instagram. I told her about the podcast, which means we will soon be adding Switzerland to our growing list of countries. So, hey, hola, Eva. I hope you're listening to our podcast. You can join the list of 4 people that are listening. Me, Cheryl, Gabe, and Francoise.
Welcome.
Anyway, Cheryl, you got any shout outs?
I have a shout out to, I can't pronounce the name, so you do it, please, because it's Korean, isn't it?
Korean? It's a ramen company. So, okay, but tell the backstory about how you used to eat ramen 3 times a day, and now you've only eat it once every 3 months.
Maybe 3 times a week.
Oh my, are you kidding me? That's still a lot.
I know.
It's a lot of sodium.
But, okay, so what is it called?
The company's called Nongshim, and the brand of ramen is Noguri.
Okay, and it's the seafood one, or is it?
It's just Noguri is the name of the ramen.
So it's like the udon noodle. It's thick, and it even if it sits in the broth for a while,
thick and it slides in my mouth. That's what she said.
No, it's thick and chewy, and it does not get soggy. Unless it's sitting in the broth overnight.
But it's pretty fishy, and you don't like fish, so it's just blows my mind that you love this stuff. It's a very fishy broth.
Maybe because it's broth and I'm not eating actual.
I used to love noguri, and then something happened when I was pregnant, because you have all these food aversions, and I actually stopped eating it across the board, and I never bought it again after that.
Maybe it's just because you were...
But I tasted your soup today, and then I took a bite of your noodles, and it was tasty.
It is very good. So
I only like ramen with egg in it. So good.
That's so Korean.
Oh, it's so
No, it's not. Japanese do it too.
Yeah, but Japanese do more like the jammy egg, where the yolk is kind of runny and it's like very soft cooked, and then they cut it open and put it on top.
What do you guys do?
We just drop the egg in and kind of stir it along so that you have almost like, Or what we do is for dry noodles that doesn't have... Noodles that have sauce that don't have soup, we fry the egg and put it on top like a sunny side up so that you can pop the yolk and mix it in. There are also some noodle dishes where they just put a raw egg yolk on top and you mix it and makes it creamy. Kind of almost like a carbonara.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not a big egg person.
What? I love it. You know what I had for breakfast yesterday?
An egg.
I had a piece of toast and 2 hard-boiled eggs. I love eggs. I could eat 4 or 5 eggs a day.
I'm not used to having them in my ramen.
But I also don't eat a lot of meat,
ramen. Stay out of my ramen.
I know. Anywho, is that your only shout out to the ramen people?
Yeah, and that was hard. I was hard pressed to find a shout out.
Listen, one time someone asked me, "Do you like ramen?" And I said, "Everybody loves ramen." And they said, "No, the noodle dish, the Korean noodles, ramen." I go, "It's called ramen."
Oh,
I was like, "Ramen?" I go, "That's like everybody loves ramen." I was like, "That's a TV show." Anyway, guys,
that's hilarious.
This week we are headed away from murder, and we are going to have a little kind of like game called Real or Ridiculous. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a news caption, and Cheryl's going to tell us if it's real or if it's ridiculous. And then I'm going to go into description on whether it's real or whether it's ridiculous, and why and where and how and all that good stuff.
Okay, but like the name the lyrics game that we played, what did we call it? Oh, I
smells like Team Spirit.
I smell Team Spirit. I need to understand the point system. So
there's no points.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Anyway, some of these facts are true, and some are just figments of our overtired and over-caffeinated brains. And some are just straight up lies. Okay?
Okay.
So, the first caption is Prince William. You know who Prince William is, right?
Yes.
That's King Charles and Lady Diana's son.
Do.
Okay. He's next in line for the throne.
Okay.
He's married to Kate.
How's she doing, by the way?
She's doing well. She's in remission.
Good.
Prince William's luck is furniture-based.
His luck?
Yes.
L-U-C-K?
L-U-C-K.
What does that mean?
His, sport betting luck. The odds of his favorite sports team winning are furniture-based. The prince repositions his children around their living room sofa in an attempt to help his favorite soccer team win matches.
It's so ridiculous. It has to real. It has to be real.
You're right. Ding, 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 ding.
It's so ridiculous that it has to be real.
There is credible reporting that Prince William revealed a superstition involving rearranging where he and his children sit or positioning them differently when watching soccer matches in hopes of affecting his team's luck.
What if he doesn't? What if they lose? What happens if he throws the furniture out?
I don't know, but he said that he's even particular about where he sits. So these are very superstitious rituals, obviously. If the team's not doing well, he'll start moving around the house quite quickly and put the children in different positions, hoping that will change the luck.
Wow.
And it comes from interviews and direct quotes that were attributed to him. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy, but some people are so
superstitious.
Well, no, they're so into their sports that they will do if it helps, it helps. You know what I mean?
So it's so true. So one of the things that we've discovered, so our youngest child also plays volleyball, and we go to games. And I remember the first time it happened, I got up to go to the bathroom, and they had been winning. They had won the first match, they had lost the second match, and it all hinged on this third match. And I got up to go to the bathroom. When I came back, this guy Barry was sitting there, and he looks at me and he goes, "Great." He goes, "You got to go to the bathroom. They lost." He's all, "Next time they're playing," he goes, "you don't move until the match is over."
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. And I realized
was he joking?
No. And I realized that people get really, really like
they get
superstitious.
Intense
Yes.
about the
and parents do. And like they wear certain clothes. And this is not even the players. The players are even more superstitious.
Oh, I bet.
They wear certain clothes. Remember when we interviewed Sean, the coach from Duke, and he said that like when he goes in the bathroom stall, he uses the same stall in the bathroom when it's game day. And I've even heard of like that there are sports players that like if they're married, they won't have sex, like the night before the match because they feel like they have to save all their energy for winning the match and they can't use up their mojo.
So what happens though if your tried and true, superstitious thing that you do doesn't work out?
I don't know.
You lose the match.
I don't know.
So
but
did you start wearing diapers to the games after that?
That's right. Well, it's so interesting. I used to wear this little volleyball necklace. And then the girls won a couple of tournaments. That was very exciting. And then I wore it once and they lost. And so I never wore it again.
Oh,
so I did kind of buy into it a little bit there, but also it's round and it doesn't lay against my skin. So every time I would do something, it would like bonk on me and I didn't like it. So,
that's so funny though. Okay, well, It was so ridiculous. I thought it was real.
Good job. Well, guess what? Cheryl got that one right. So
I got a point. I don't care if she's not giving out points. I'm giving a point to myself.
All right. This headline says there is a spider that kills its prey by vomiting on them.
That sounds real.
So you think it's real, huh? All right. A particularly interesting recent discovery involves spiders of the Euloboridae family. That means they're feather-legged lace weavers.
Oh my God, ew.
These spiders do not have venomous glands in their fangs. They can't, so they can't inject venom the usual way.
Yeah.
Instead, they wrap their prey heavily in silk, then cover the prey or the silk with digestive fluids from their gut. Then they vomit or regurgitate digestive juices, and those fluids are toxic, and they immobilize and kill their prey. And in lab tests, scientists inject these digestive fluids into fruit flies and found that that very small amounts of this fluid was enough to kill or seriously impair them.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? So yes, some spiders can and do kill by vomiting. If you interpret vomiting as regurgitating digestive fluids onto prey rather than projectile vomiting like a human being does.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's I believe that. So yes, I said real. So
wow, you guys, so far she's 2-2. The next story is a domesticated pet cat becomes a mountaineer.
Okay. Well, what's the I have to just guess by that.
And the description is a cat completed the famous 3 Peaks Challenge, which is a long hiking route involving 3 high peaks.
By
mountain
itself?
Peaks. Well, that was just the caption. You have to decide if that's real or ridiculous.
What does a mountaineer have to carry stuff? Doesn't a mountaineer
A mountaineer is someone who has successfully hiked mountain ranges.
What am I thinking of? Like someone that carries stuff.
Sherpa.
Yeah, I'm picturing, what would be the purpose of that? Why is he going over 3 mountains? I'm going to say it's ridiculous.
Louis, the Parisian cat, a 7-year-old cat from Hampshire, United Kingdom, has reportedly become the first feline to conquer the 3 Peaks Challenge, climbing the highest mountains in England, Scotland, and Wales under his own steam on a leash with his owners. The peaks are called Snowdon, Ben Nevis, and Scafell Pike. The total time took 29 hours for all three, walking on a leash, with occasionally being carried when he got colder above cloud level.
Well, see, I was going to say Lewis's they probably
owners said he walked 5 to 6 miles a day regularly.
Okay, here's my question. Why?
Why not?
Also, I should have asked. I should have had a
qualified... Cheryl, have you ever done anything just for the hell of it? Come on.
I'm sure I have in my lifetime, but what I thought you meant a cat like went by itself.
He's like, he's in his little cat house, and one day wakes up and he licks his paw and he goes, you know what I'd like to do today is strap on my miniature camelback and go climb Annapurna.
A GoPro on him.
And then he puts on his GoPro and he puts his little rucksack and he's like, meow, 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 meow. And then he heads out. And then he gets to the top and he goes, beautiful. And then he scampers on down.
If you had told me he was on a leash with a human, I would have said, okay, that's real.
That wasn't the news. That wasn't the newspaper article line.
I think that's animal abuse. All right.
No, his owners say he walks 5 to 6 miles a day regularly on a leash. They take him out for walks.
Oh, that's cute. You know what? I actually, I've never owned a cat. So, but I feel like if I did, I'd want to walk them because I have dogs. I've always had dogs and I've always walked them.
And they'd wear cute shoes.
They wear cute shoes.
And accessories.
And I think
they'd have little jackets.
Cats would love to be.
And she would breastfeed them and call them Angel Baby.
Baby Angel.
And Poopy Face.
No,
wait, what do you call it? Doo-doo butt.
Doo-doo butt.
Instead of poo-poo face, doo-doo butt.
No, but listen, why can't cats go out on walks? You know what I mean? Like put them on a leash and walk them around. I wouldn't.
You know what? My niece Heidi, she puts one of her cats on a leash and walks it because she used to do that when she only had one cat, but now she has 4. But she can still take the cat she's had the longest on walks.
Yeah, I think it's great. So, all right, what was the cat's name? Did we get to know?
Louis, the Parisian cat, but Louis. It could be Louis because,
Lou.
you know.
I'm going to call him Lou. Well, good for
Lou,
you, Lou.
From Hampshire, UK. Isn't that exciting? Anyway.
Okay.
So she got that one wrong, guys. So she gets a big fat 0 for that one.
Well,
so now.
Only because I pictured him going.
She's 2. She's got 2 right, 1 wrong.
Okay, well, I'm still winning.
All right. Okay, the next headline is Florida man tries to rob a bank using a live alligator.
Well, I'm going to say real because all of these sound so ridiculous that's why you're talking about them.
So you're wrong. I know that, you know what I threw you off with was by saying Florida man.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Anything involving Florida and an alligator sounds real.
Yes, I imagine him with the alligators on leashes walking them down the street. Okay.
But what I did was I searched crazy alligator stories from Florida so that I could, because I wanted to see if there was anything crazy out there. And there are 2 real stories. One is a man stole a live alligator from a miniature golf course in Florida, then tried to throw it through the roof of a cocktail lounge saying he was teaching it a lesson.
Aww.
And the other one is another incident. Someone allegedly threw a live alligator through a Wendy's drive-through window as a prank.
Oh, that's awful.
Could you imagine? I held alive. I don't know if it was a crocodile or an alligator, but I held one when I was in the Amazon jungle.
Was its mouth taped?
I have a picture of myself holding it.
Is the mouth taped though?
I don't know. I don't remember. I also got to hold a 2-toed sloth.
Oh,
and it was so cute. I held it under its arms, and I also got to hold this giant yellow boa constrictor anaconda thing. And I also got to hold. Well, I'm not going to tell you about the other things because they gross you out. Anyway.
Okay.
So anyway, she didn't get that one either. So guess what? Now she's 2 yes and 2 no.
I'm trying to be too logical in the way.
Exactly, because what I did was I charmed her with the stories that were so ridiculous that they seemed like they were real. All right, so 2 yes and 2 no.
You said you weren't going to keep score.
Roaring on. I said I wasn't keeping score, but I actually am. Okay. Here is the next news line. A pigeon was arrested in India for espionage.
You can't arrest an animal.
Real or ridiculous?
Ridiculous.
This story is real. In May 2023, police in Mumbai, near a port, found a pigeon that had 2 rings tied to its legs and what looked like writing in Chinese-like script. The pigeon was taken into custody by the police, then by an animal hospital for examination. The authorities suspect it might be a Chinese spy bird, and after investigation, the pigeon was cleared of espionage. It was identified as a racing bird from Taiwan that had apparently wandered away or escaped. And after 8 months in custody, it was released and set free. So in short, yes, the pigeon was arrested or detained under suspicion of espionage in India. But that suspicion was later dropped and there's no evidence the bird was actually a spy.
Okay, that arrested is a stretch. That I think I should get half a point.
It was detained.
No, you lose. They just had to investigate what the rings were. But he didn't. Did they put handcuffs on it? Did they throw it in jail?
Little tiny bird handcuffs.
Did they throw it in jail? Did he have a trial?
He was detained. Yes, he was. And they went like this.
Did they have a jury of all his peers? They have a jury of 12 pigeons.
Okay.
Did they take a vote? Did they deliberate?
You guys are witnesses to what a bad loser Cheryl is. Okay, the next one is, the next headline is Denmark bans forks on Wednesdays.
Ridiculous.
You're right.
Yay! See, I knew it.
This is not true. It was actually just a silly,
on Thursdays.
silly internet hoax. Yeah, it was Iceland.
Then it wasn't Wednesdays. They banned them on Thursdays.
Oh, good job, Cheryl. So you're now at 3 yes and 3 no. Okay, so you're breaking even.
More so that I have
not that many. So buckle down, girl. It's like taking the SATs. Okay. The next headline is Napoleon was once, Napoleon Bonaparte, right?
Yeah.
Was once attacked by a horde of bunnies.
The image of that is very funny. I'm going to say real because it's so ridiculous.
Ding, ding, ding. You're right. See, the story was set in July of 1807, just after Napoleon had signed the treaties of Tilsit with Russia, celebrating a major pact. To mark the occasion, his chief of staff, Francois Alexandre Berthier, organizes a large... Do you notice how my voice gets super sexy right before I'm going to say... She
goes into a different register.
Au français, Alexandre Berthier, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Organizes a large rabbit hare hunt. Berthier procured a large number of rabbits, sometimes said to be hundreds or even 3,000. They were caged at the edges of a field to be released for the hunt. When they were freed, instead of scattering away, the rabbits allegedly swarmed towards Napoleon and his men, climbing on their legs, boots, and clothes, and the party was forced to retreat, some accounts say to their carriages, as the rabbits overwhelmed them.
Okay, I think attack is a strong word, just like arrested.
Whatevs.
But how cute. That's a great would love story, to be
attacked by bunny rabbits. Well, they have teeth.
Were they biting
And did you ever see Monty Python where the rabbit basically bit everyone's neck and they all died at the cave?
No.
Okay.
But do rabbits, was he attacked? Was he hurt? He was hurt with cuteness. Napoleon.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll have to do a little more research on that. Avec ma sexy French voice.
Croissant.
That's right. Anywho.
Okay, I got that.
The account comes from memoirs and secondhand sources. The description may be exaggerated or embellished with time.
You think?
Some of the more dramatic details people said that the rabbits had...
It was 2 bunnies.
Like the rabbits divided into wings and attacked it from different flanks. It read more like stories for amusement than accurate history.
They were wearing bunny camouflage.
Historians tend to agree something along these lines did happen. For example, a badly organized rabbit hunt gone wrong. But they often treat the more sensational claims with skepticism, such as the exact number of rabbits or the level of
attack. That's what I said. It was
or how furious or threatened the party was.
So basically, this might not be a real story, but I got it right saying real, right?
Good job.
Okay.
So she's got 4 yeses and 3 nos, okay?
Isn't it 5?
No, okay. It's 4 and 3. Don't be trying to get free points, all right? The next headline is, the Eiffel Tower was originally planned as a giant guillotine. I don't know, you say guillotine or guillotine?
No, guillotine.
Okay, guillotine.
Francoise would have a field day if you said guillotine. That's like tortilla. Or quesadilla.
Or jalapeno. I watch these like quesadilla. English mukbangers from England and they say jalapeno. And every time they say it, I like a little part of me dies. I'm like, just because you don't speak Spanish, you can still say jalapeno. Yeah, but maybe, like it's not going to break any rules.
But maybe they just didn't know. I
don't know. I mean, if I can go over there and order chips instead of French fries, I think that they can say jalapeno instead of jalapeno. Okay. Seriously. Anyway, okay, so what say you? The Eiffel Tower was originally planned as a giant guillotine.
That sounds ridiculous.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. That is not true. That is an internet hoax. My guess is it's probably being pushed by the Trump administration. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Why would it be that big? Were they going to... who's that big giant... What's the...
Paul Bunyan?
Were they going to chop his
Paul
head
Bunyan off? Was from this country, so
still, but I mean,
he would have to jump over the Atlantic Ocean.
Was it a guillotine for... What's his name? Usain Bolt. No, don't put that in.
What?
I'm thinking of a tall basketball player, so I was
Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt. Yao Ming.
Oh my God. And you know what? I said they both start with Y. And then
you said... Except Usain Bolt starts with a U. I'm like, dead. All right. Good job, Cheryl. You have 5 yeses to 3 nos.
Yay.
Rolling on. A woman from Birmingham, England, arrives to work without her pants.
Oh, real? I'm sure people do that every day.
Final answer?
You know,
no, she wasn't wearing a dress.
No, I know.
She's just left the house without pants.
Okay, do you remember I said to you sometimes I'm so distracted that like I'll get out of the house or like in my car and I have to do like a check like, am I wearing like outside clothes? You know what I mean? Like, so I'm going to say real.
A woman in Birmingham, you're right. A woman in Birmingham, after working long night shifts, accidentally left home without wearing any trousers, just a hoodie and her underwear. She was heading out for a 12-hour shift at a railway control room when she realized the emission, turned around, slipped back inside, and was captured on her home security camera, giving a grin.
I totally believe that you can be so exhausted to do something like that. Wow. I really do, because like I said, there have been times where I walk out and I'm already it's too far wherever I am to like go back and do something about it. But I'm like, I mean, you know, you can see, but it's like, did I really change? You know, I get it. Well, she didn't get all the way to work and she was wearing underwear. Which is a good...
but also maybe it was the cold air, like, hitting her bits that, like, made her realize, oh, shit, I don't have my pants on.
See, there's something good about wearing underwear.
I will tell you what I've done is I've left the house wearing my chanclas, which are, like, my sandals, my house slippers, and I've gotten to where I'm going and realized, oh, God... But it's too late to go back home, and it's usually just work.
But those just look like regular slides.
And also, I'm a nanny, so it's not like anyone cares at work.
I think I have.
But it's so awful because it like hurts my like fashion sensibilities.
Oh, you must have done
ruins inside. My day. Complicates my day.
I have had a friend that's actually gone to a lunch or something like that.
With 2 different shoes.
In like those house slippers that look fuzzy and stuff that really look like house slippers. Oh my God.
All right, and the last one.
Wait, what's the score?
Score is 6 yes, 3 no. Cheryl is winning at Real and Ridiculous. But the last story is that recently it was discovered that there was a link that ties circumcision to autism.
Was this a Trump announcement? No. What? Who said this?
The Department of Health and Safety has claimed that there is a link that ties circumcision to autism. So if you're circumcised, your chances for having autism increase.
Okay, I have questions. When was this?
Within the last 10 years. Because if I tell you when it was, you're going to know the answer right away, whether it's real or ridiculous.
Okay, so it's ridiculous.
You're right. Yeah, this was last week.
You gave it
last week, RFK Jr. in a fucking whatever presser or whatever round table claimed that there were 2 studies that link circumcision. Of course, as a woman, I want to know how many women have been circumcised because women have autism as well. So anyway,
wait, what did he say?
He suggested circumcision is linked to autism. This is the quote. There's 2 studies that show children who are circumcised early have double the rate of autism. It's highly likely because they are given Tylenol.
Oh my God.
He stated during a cabinet meeting on Thursday, folks, current scientific evidence, emphasis on scientific evidence, does not show a causal link between circumcision and autism. Claims suggesting a connection, including those associating the procedure's pain or use of Tylenol afterward with autism, have been widely debunked by medical experts.
Oh my God, I can't believe they came out and said that on a national news.
And that's actually in this country in 2025.
Yeah. That is so
also it's so damaging.
Like an SNL skit.
And also it's anti-Semitic because you know that the majority of people who get circumcised in this country do it for religious reasons.
Right.
Right?
Yes, that's crazy.
So it's fucked up on so many levels.
Yeah. Okay, so
I will say that in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, there were a lot of boys that were circumcised because the belief at the time was that for health reasons and for cleanliness reasons, babies all needed to be circumcised. So it was just done.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was pregnant, we had serious conversations, my husband and I, that if I was going to have boys, that we would not circumcise them because I felt hello, I have a mouth and a washcloth and I can explain to my children as they're growing how to clean their junk. It just was I didn't get why we have to cut off a part of their body.
Yeah,
it's not, we're also not Jewish. It's not a religious ritual or religious requirement for us. So why do it?
Mm-hmm.
I just felt you're born with that.
Right.
You should probably leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it's not being born with a 6th finger. If you're born I'm looking for the 6th finger, man. If you're born with 6 fingers on both hands, maybe you should have those little fingers removed that are dangling off the side. Or if you're born with 6 toes or something, I could see parents saying we'd like to take, unless it's functional, and then you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But in cartoons, they only ever have 4 fingers.
I've noticed that.
Anywho, Cheryl won, guys. She got
Charlie Sheen
7 yeses to 3 no's. So she is the winner of Real and Ridiculous.
I have one for you.
Okay.
Real or ridiculous? Woman gets pregnant in a jail 2 stories above the father, and they never are in the same room.
I feel there's a play on words or something. So I'm going to go with real because if I say ridiculous, you're going to say, nope, he spooged into the light fixture and she sat on top of the light fixture and a spooge squirted up inside her.
Yes. Okay. You get a point because I just heard this on the news yesterday.
What?
So by the time this episode comes out, it's going to be a couple of weeks old. So first of all, I didn't look into it, so I don't know what kind of jail or prison would be co-ed. Do they have co-ed jails and prisons?
It's called college.
That was a good one. Anyway, this woman's on one floor and 2 floors below, not just the floor below her. Some dude, they figured out a way to pass notes to each other. So they were passing notes at first. And then I don't know the details. I didn't look into the story that much.
Then he said, "Do you have a turkey baster?"
No, listen. So I don't know whose suggestion
started
it was.
Passing Thanksgiving dinner to each other.
No, so I don't know whose idea it was, but he started passing his special sauce up to her.
2 pickles, extra onions,
and according
2 patties and a sesame bun.
And according to him, it was like 5 times a day. And
what was she doing with it?
She used a oh my God, a yeast infection syringe or whatever to impregnate herself with his semen, and she got pregnant.
Well, you know what? This really changes things for the people who are doing in vitro. Like, first of all,
what like it saying? Turns out instead of convicts making license plates, they can offer their special sauce.
I mean, also, remember they say a lot of times women are stressed out and that's why they can't get pregnant? Well, I mean, if you can get pregnant doing this in prison, maybe you need to go to prison to get pregnant.
First of all, I'm still trying to figure out how they pass this stuff to each other, 2 floors. First it started off as notes, and then it ended with that. But there's a jail call of her telling her mom that she's pregnant, and her mom was like, what are you talking about? Like, she didn't believe her.
Oh my God.
Anyway, that was in the news.
Well, here's the thing.
Huh?
She's already in prison. So she's already been charged by crime. So that's not a crime.
No, it's not a crime, but the poor baby, that's a crime for the baby.
It
kind of makes for a neat story, though. My parents.
And they can't charge her for that because it's not a crime. Like, she just got pregnant, you know? And she's already in prison for another crime.
It's pretty incredible. I have to look up why men and women were in the same facility. I don't know what that's about.
Well, guys, Cheryl did really well. If you listen to the one about fashion, remember the trivia?
Yes.
The Jeopardy fashion? Yes. Cheryl did not dominate that.
What?
She also did not dominate the
lyrics.
Finish the lyrics.
Really
so I was like,
embarrassed by
she
the
didn't
lyrics.
know what Hey Jude was, so she did this. So I got to give it to her. You know what? There was no crime committed here today, but you know what is a crime?
What's that, Joy?
That we are out of time.
That is a crime. Well, thank you for listening, everyone, and don't complicate your day.
All creativity, commentary, and opinions in this podcast belong to Cheryl and Joy. Music composed and mixed by Gabe McKeon. Logo and merch managed by Cheryl Yamaguchi. Podcast editing, advertising, and social media managed by Joy McKeon. Legal representation provided by John Bojezic. Please like, subscribe, follow, and listen. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audible.com, Amazon Music, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. And remember, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok, or you can email us at murderandeverythingelse@gmail.com.
Bye, fishes.